What's up, you guys? Welcome back. Today I'm super excited because we are going to be doing a video that I have been wanting to do for such a long time. I really took my time to do my research to find the right products because today I am going to be doing a full face of dupes. So basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to do half of my face with high-end makeup, and then the other half of my face I'm going to be using the Drugstore Dupes to the high-end makeup that I found. I literally for the past couple of weeks have been going through my collection each day, finding some of my favorite high-end products and kind of going through to find dupes for them. And I really think that I have some really good ones. I'm so excited. So basically the goal is to make our whole face kind of look like it was all done with the same products, which hopefully we're going to be able to do it today, and you guys can find some really great drugstore, more affordable options to some great high-end makeup. Give this video a thumbs up if you guys like these dupe videos, and definitely let me know down below if you guys have any favorite dupe products. Like, what's your favorite drugstore dupe for one of your favorite high-end products? I would love to hear. Let me know down below in the comments. Make sure you guys subscribe to my channel if you have not already, and click the little bell right next to the subscribe button so you can be notified of all of my future uploads. And without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. Honestly, I'm a little nervous. I feel like it's one thing to have like one dupe or something, but like a full face of dupes is like aggressive, but we're gonna do it, okay? First things first, we are going to start with primer. Now, one of my favorite primers is the Too Faced Do You Fresh Glow. This is really beautiful. It's a luminous face primer, and the drugstore dupe, which is also one of my favorites, you guys would know if you watch my channel, is the True Match Lumi Glotion. I use this all the time as well, and I realized that these two are very similar products, which is why I like the both of them. So I'm gonna do the high-end side of my face. I'll do it on this side, and then this side will be the dupe drugstore side. So I'm gonna go in with the Too Faced primer on this side. I'm just gonna apply it with my finger because it's easier. Actually, you know what? Because it is tinted, I'm gonna just apply it with a beauty blender and blend that out on my face. So as you guys can see, it gives a little bit of a tint, little glow action to your face. I have drier skin, so I like this. And the smell on this is amazing. The L'Oreal one, I've obviously used it before, so I know that it doesn't have a scent. This one has like a really nice watermelon scent. Then we're gonna go in with the True Match Lumi Glotion on the other side. There are 3 of these. This is the medium toned one, but they do have a lighter one and a darker one if you're interested. So you guys can see this one is a bit darker in color, but honestly, when we blend it out, I feel like there's not gonna be much of a difference at all, and they're gonna be very similar. This one also gives a pretty glow to the skin, but neither of them has like big chunky glitter or anything in them. They're very subtle glows. I mean, they really look pretty similar. The L'Oreal one maybe gives a little bit more of a darker tint to the skin because it is a little bit more of a tinted product, but I mean, like, overall, it's pretty much the same. And I did write down the price differences on my phone of all the products for you guys. I looked them up prior to filming, so let me let you know on the primer. So the Too Faced primer is $34, and then the L'Oreal primer is $9. So big difference on price. Face looking pretty much the same. Up next for foundation. For the high-end foundation, we're going to be using the Tarte Found Sealer. This is one of my absolute favorite everyday foundations. It's so beautiful. But the first time that I tried the L'Oreal Infallible Fresh Wear Foundation, I immediately found this to be a dupe to the Tarte Found Sealer. They're very similar. They give a nice coverage to the skin, but they're light and moisturizing and really nice for every single day. So I'm going to be using both of these today and seeing how they work. So I'm going to go in with the Found Sealer first. And the Found Sealer is $39, where the L'Oreal foundation is $10. So I just pumped out 1 pump of this in my finger, and we're gonna blend it out. And I will be wiping my beauty blender off in between each so that there's no like cross-contamination. And then when we get to my eyes, I'm just gonna use completely different eye brushes to make sure that we're not co-contaminating the makeup sides. But if you guys see, this is just a really beautiful, like, dewy finish foundation. I loved it from the first time that I tried it. Really great on a daily basis. I wouldn't necessarily use this when I was doing like a full out glam look, but I use this foundation a lot just, you know, for running errands around or whatever I'm doing during the day. It's kind of like a Your Skin But Better product. All right, gonna just wipe my beauty blender off. I have a makeup remover wipe here to get any excess off of her. I'm gonna go in with the L'Oreal on the other side. And this is 1 pump of the L'Oreal. I'm gonna blend this all out. Very similar, dewy product, kind of Your Skin But Better look. This one does have a little bit of like a chemically scent. It's definitely the sunscreen. There's SPF 25 in this one. I don't think there's SPF in the Found Sealer. Oh, there is. So there's SPF 20 in the Tarte Found Sealer, but this does not smell like chemicals at all. It has no scent to it, which I prefer. The L'Oreal one, you can definitely like smell that sunscreeny like smell, but it is what it is. But I would say as far as the way that they like blend out and perform on the skin, it's like pretty much the same. All right, so I feel like my face looking pretty good, looks pretty similar for the most part. So we're gonna continue on to concealer. Up next for concealer, I have two of my absolute favorite concealers. So one is the e.l.f. Camo Concealer. This is only $5, and then I have the Tarte Shape Tape Concealer, which retails for $27. These are both two of my absolute favorite concealers, but we're gonna put them to the test against each other today. So I have Light Sand in Tarte Shape Tape, and I'm gonna apply it as I normally would underneath my eyes. Normally I use concealer down like the bridge of my nose and all that, but I feel like the center of my face is kind of like the zone between the two. So I'm just gonna do concealer underneath my eyes today, which is not what I would normally do, but just to make sure that we don't, you know, cross-contaminate. So I'm gonna go ahead and blend that out underneath my eyes. You guys already know that this is one of my absolute favorite concealers. It's the best. So we have that all nice and blended. Now on this side, I'm gonna go in with Camo in Light Beige. Pop that underneath. Wipe off my beauty blender so there's no excess product, and blend her all out. I will say, using both of these concealers quite frequently, I find the e.l.f. Camo one to be slightly more drying than Tarte Shape Tape. I know a lot of people find Tarte Shape Tape to be drying. I actually don't, which is interesting because I have pretty dry skin to begin with. I don't find it to be moisturizing on my under eyes, but I also don't find it to be drying, where sometimes my under eyes will get a little dry with the Camo concealer, but it is a really, really good concealer. And voila, our under eyes are done. The Tarte side looks a little bit more brightened. That shade might be just a little bit lighter than the e.l.f. side, but I feel like this side of my eye looks a little bit more brightened underneath it, but overall pretty similar. All right, now up next for under eye setting powders, I have two of my favorites again. So for the high-end side, I have the Fenty Beauty Pro Filter powder. This is in the shade Butter. This retails for $32. And then for the dupe, I have a very new favorite of mine, and this is the CoverGirl True Blend Minerals Loose Mineral Powder in Banana, and this retails for $7. So we are gonna put these guys to the test. First, we're gonna go in with Fenty. I feel like the great thing about this video is with all the products that I'm showing you guys, like you can't go wrong with either really. Like the high-end products that I'm showing you guys are some of my absolute favorites, but it's always great to find like, you know, a drugstore alternative. So gonna go in with the Fenty powder underneath my eye on this side. This is a really, really great powder. This is my favorite product that Fenty has come out with. It does a really nice job of just smoothing and setting the under eyes, which is something about this that really stuck out to me because it's like, it literally makes it look like airbrushed, which is exactly what I think the CoverGirl powder does as well. So immediately when I tried the CoverGirl powder, I was like, oh, this is a dupe for Fenty Pro Filter. I also really love the scent on this. The CoverGirl product is not scented. The Fenty one has a really nice, like fresh kind of scent to it. So that is the Fenty side. Now we're gonna go in with the CoverGirl powder. It looks very similar. This one is a little bit more yellow. The Fenty one is a little bit more white, but I feel like the look underneath the eyes is a very, very similar. If you guys can see, like this is very brightening, even though it is pretty yellow. Like I feel like it looks darker like in here than it applies to the under eye. So I'm just gonna go and set my under eye with this. Wow, I'm like looking in the mirror in front of me and I'm like, dang, I feel like the CoverGirl one is more brightening than the Fenty one is. Alrighty, up next, we are going to do brows. So I have the Precisely My Brow Pencil from Benefit, and then I have the CoverGirl Ultra Fine Brow Pencil. So this is only $4 and this is $24. So big difference. I'm gonna do one brow and then the other. I'm gonna use the Benefit one first. They both have a spoolie on one side and product on the other. The shade that I am in the Precisely My Brow Pencil is shade 4. So I'm gonna just spoolie my brows in place, and then we'll go in and fill them all in. I just recently tinted my brows, so I feel like they look so dark, but I kind of live. This shade is definitely quite cooler toned, I think, than the CoverGirl one. So this might look different because I'm applying it now and I'm like, I feel like this looks darker and more cool tone than the CoverGirl one does, but we'll see. It might just be because I recently dyed my brows, so they look a little bit darker to me in general. All right, let's see. I'm gonna go in with the CoverGirl one on the other eye. I have honey brown here. I can always grab, I have soft brown too, which would be the next shade darker. So we'll see. I'm gonna go in with this guy first. Yeah, it's definitely looking like the Benefit one is a bit darker. But honestly, like the way they perform on the brows is the same. It's just the color that's slightly different. But I feel like in reality, like they're not actually all that different. Like this is really not that much lighter than this brow. So not too shabby. Alrighty, we're gonna go ahead and move on to the eyes. All right, now for my eyeshadow palettes, I have this guy from Morphe. This is the 15N. It looks like this. And that is a dupe for this little guy from Marc Jacobs. This is the Scandalous palette. These are their iconic palettes. So this palette actually has less shades in it. looks like this, and this palette retails for $50. I think it's like $49.90 or something, where the Morphe one, which has even more shades in it, is only $17. But you can definitely create very similar eye looks. They have a very similar color story, like the colors are the same, but you actually get more in the Morphe one. And I'm like not a Morphe affiliate. I don't shill Morphe like some YouTubers do, like honestly, but I do think their products are actually pretty good for the price. And I found these palettes to be very similar. I was like, I could definitely create a very similar look with both of them. At least I think so. So we're gonna put that to the test today. So I'm gonna go in with the Marc Jacobs side first. I'm first gonna go in with this guy right here. Alrighty, and again, I'm gonna be using completely different eye brushes for each palette, just so we don't have any cross-contaminants. How many times in one video can I say cross-contamination? I never thought I would really be talking about that in a YouTube video, or saying that in a YouTube video, but there's a first for everything. Up next, I'm gonna go in with this guy right here. It just says a neutral transition shade. I'm gonna put that right on top of that shade that we just put down and just buff that into my crease area. I haven't used any Marc Jacobs eyeshadows in a while, and I'm like, dang, these are expensive, but they are honestly really, really good. You know, as far as blendability and all of that. I mean, today what we're really focusing on is being able to get the same look, so similar colors and stuff. But I mean, as far as quality goes, Marc Jacobs is really good. Now I'm gonna go in with this shade right here all over the lid. I'm gonna use a flat top brush. I'm gonna spritz it with some Fix Plus just so we can go in with a damp brush. I'll do the same thing with the Morphe palette, and I'm gonna just press this guy. Oh my goodness, wow. This is pretty. Very beautiful. Now I'm like, dang, I don't know if the Morphe palette is honestly gonna live up to being a dupe to this. I feel like it might not, because this palette is actually really, really good. Wow, that's so pretty. She is pretty. I'm gonna just go and buff it so we don't have any harsh lines. And then to highlight, I'm gonna go in with this lightest shade right here. And I'm gonna pop that in this inner corner just to brighten her up a bit, and right beneath the brow bone. And then on my lower lash line, I'm gonna mix together these two shades right here to kind of create like a really dark pink, or I guess purpley shade. The purple really took over, but that's okay. She's still pretty and she's still cute. And I'm gonna just blow this little outer corner out a little bit, just so everything blends. All right, honestly, I'm a little nervous. I feel like this Morphe palette's got big shoes to fill, because this look came out really well. Like the shadows were super, super pigmented and really beautiful. So hopefully we can create the same thing. I'm gonna first go in with the shade Custom right here. And I'm gonna start by buffing that in my crease and upper crease area. We're gonna do the exact same like steps that we did on the other eye, and hopefully create a somewhat similar look. And then I'm gonna jump in with the shade Goals right here and work that into the crease and just buff that all out, back and forth, windshield wipe motions. Morphe shadows definitely have good pigment to them, especially for the price, but I will say that the Marc Jacobs palette was more pigmented. It was like very pigmented. I was like, dang, like this is really good, like high-end anything. I mean, it should be really good because I think it's only 7 shades for $50. I mean, it's expensive, so it should be good. But it certainly is good. I will give it that. And now to create that similar depth that we had, I'm gonna go in with a little bit of Va Va Voom and add that in with Goals, just to give that look of like a purple undertone, which this is now doing, which is perfect. We're looking pretty good, pretty good. All right, now for the all over color. Again, I'm gonna spritz my brush with Fix Plus. This is a different brush. I feel like we're gonna start to stray a little bit here because that Marc Jacobs color was just so dang pretty, but hopefully it's gonna be close. This is the shade Creativity, and I'm gonna go in with that right there. And we are gonna pop her on the lid. Okay, okay. Not bad, not quite as beautiful as the Marc Jacobs one, but they honestly are very similar. Like they're more similar than I thought. The Marc Jacobs one definitely pops a little bit more, has a little more sheen to it, but for the price differential, they're pretty similar. So I'm happy about that. And again, it's not that the Morphe one isn't pigmented, because it definitely is. It's just not quite as boom. This one also has a bit more orangey undertones, where this one is more red undertones. So they have a slightly different undertone to them, which is also, you know, contributing to the fact that they appear different. I might mix in a smidge of Selfie, because this kind of has an orangey undertone, if you guys can see. It's a matte shade, but I might mix in a little smidge of that with Creativity, just to maybe bring that orangey tone in to the look as much as we can. And then just gonna blend just like we did on the other side. Yeah, this shade is definitely darker, more red versus more orange, which is interesting because in the pan, I mean, they really look very similar. I'll put them up next to each other. Like in the pan, they really don't look all that different, but applied to the eye, they do. For my highlight, I'm gonna go in with the shade Unique. I'm gonna pop that in the inner corner and beneath the brow bone. And now underneath the eye, I'm gonna mix together these two shades just like we did in the Marc Jacobs palette. I'm gonna buff those two out underneath the eye. Oh, these are pretty similar. I mean, I would say overall, the main difference in this eye look is the all over the lid color. Everything else is very, very similar. It's just the all over the lid color that's the difference. So they definitely are similar. The Marc Jacobs palette performed better, but again, it's at a much higher price point. So it's up to you. They're both good palettes. All right, now for eyeliner, I have the Benefit Roller Liner, which is one of my absolute favorites. This guy retails for $22. And then I have the Maybelline Master Precise All Day Liquid Liner, which is $7. So let's see how these guys stack up. I'm gonna go in with the Benefit one first. I already know I love this. It's one of my favorite liners. So I'm gonna just do a line, and I am gonna use it to do a wing as well. I actually haven't done winged liner in like a minute. I've kind of just like been skipping liner recently. Or if I do it, I just do like a thin black line, like not a full-on wing. But it's nice to have it back. But I kind of messed up this wing a little bit out of practice. I feel like getting wings to look even is already like a feat, and then let alone trying to do it with two different products. But we're gonna go in with this one. I guess since I messed up the one side, I can mess up this side too, so no pressure. They're both very, very pigmented, which is great. And honestly, they perform very similarly. I would say the Maybelline one feels a little bit drier, but overall, I mean, not a huge, huge difference. And I feel like they're pretty similar. Now for in my actual waterline, I have two different liners. I have the Benefit Bad Gal Bang. This is one of my absolute favorites. This is such a good liner. Super, super pigmented in black. This retails for $20. And then I have another favorite of mine. This is the ColourPop Cream Gel Liner, and these retail for $5.50. So I'm gonna go in with the Benefit one first. They're both very, very pigmented, so great for the waterline. I'm gonna pop this guy right on in there. This guy is super pigmented and does not budge. And I'm just going in with the ColourPop one. I will say the Benefit one probably lasts a bit longer than the ColourPop one does. So if you're looking for super long lasting, the Benefits one's probably better for you. But overall, pretty similar. All right, up next we have mascara. Again, we have two of my absolute favorites. We have the $25 Lancome Misor Big Mascara, and then we have the $7 CoverGirl Exhibitionist Mascara. So let's put these guys to the test. Gonna go in with Lancome first on this side. I didn't like curl either of my lashes. I'm just going in on my regular lashes. I feel like because we did such thick liner, we might not be able to see the huge difference in lashes because our liner's pretty thick today, but we're gonna try. Yeah, I feel like you can like barely see my lashes because of my liner, but maybe on the bottom we'll be able to see a bit better. But both of these mascaras are two of my go-tos when I'm not wearing like falsies or anything, because they actually really do a nice job with my natural lashes. All right, so that is Lancome side. Now I'm gonna go in with the Exhibitionist on the other side. They're also both like drier formula mascaras, which I personally like. I feel like the drier the formula, the better they like adhere to my lashes and really like pick them up. So they're both very similar, you know, in formula. Gotta do my lower lashes, which hopefully will show better than my top. All right, lashes are done. We're gonna go ahead and move on to our face. Alrighty, so up first, we are gonna bronze up our skin, and I have two, again, of my favorite products. For the high-end option, we have Benefit's Hoola, and this is the caramel one, so it's a little bit darker than the classic Hoola, and this retails for $30. And then for the Drugstore Dupe side, we have Wet n Wild's Color Icon Bronzer in the shade What Sandy Beaches. This guy is only $4 and one of my favorites. This is what they both look like in the pan. So first, we're gonna go in with Hoola Caramel, and I'm gonna use this as an all-over bronzer first. So we're just gonna warm up my skin with this, like so. You know what, honestly, I feel like we don't even really need to contour because these bronzers are both so pigmented, so I'm probably just gonna leave it at that. I feel like we don't need to go in and do like a harsh contour with them, so just gonna bronze the skin. And then gonna go do it the other side with the Wet n Wild bronzer. And just bronze her on up. This one is a little bit less pigmented. Like, you need less of Benefit's Hoola than you do of the Wet n Wild. Like, you can definitely go in with a heavier hand with Wet n Wild, With Benefits Hoola, I definitely have to go in with a light hand because it is a very, very, very pigmented bronzer. So just something to keep in mind. But even though you may have to use more of the Wet n Wild one, it is only $4 in comparison to $30. All right, that should be good. All right, now for our blushes, I have NARS Orgasm, which is cult classic favorite. This is $30. And for the Drugstore dupe, I have Flower Pots blush. This is in the shade Warm Hibiscus, and this is $9. I'm gonna go in with Orgasm from NARS on this side. Just pop it on my cheeks. And then gonna go in with the Flower Pots blush on the other side. They both have such a pretty sheen, like undertone to them, which I love. Like, it almost makes it look like you're already wearing highlighter. NARS Orgasm is a little bit more pinky, a little bit brighter on the cheek, but overall, they're pretty similar. For highlight, we are gonna be going in with the Makeup Forever Pro Light Fusion in shade 2. This is one of my absolute favorite highlighters, and this retails for $39. And I just have it in this palette, but you can buy it on its own, and when you buy it on its own, it retails for $39. Versus the Maybelline Master Chrome in a Molten Gold, which is $8. So I'm gonna go in on this side with Makeup Forever. How stinking pretty. I'm obsessed. I love her. I normally would bring, again, highlight down the bridge of my nose and kind of in the center of my face, but today I'm not gonna do that just because I'm kind of leaving the center of my face empty because I feel like it would be hard to do half and half there. So that is Makeup Forever. And then we will do Maybelline with a different brush on this side. So stinking pretty as well. Ugh, I die. The Maybelline one might even be a little bit more pigmented. Well, no, they're kind of both very pigmented, which is why I like both of them. They're very, very similar. Love, love, love them both. So pretty. All right, and then the only thing left to do is our lips. So we have the $17 Kylie Cosmetics liquid lipstick in the shade Leo versus the $9 CoverGirl Full Spectrum Matte Idol liquid lipstick in the shade Fortune. I swatched these both on my hand and they looked really similar. They look different in the packaging. Like the Kylie one is definitely more red where this one's more purpley. But when I swatched them on my hand, they were pretty dang similar. So hopefully it still looks that way on my lips. We're gonna go in with the Kylie one first and apply to half of our lips. This is so weird. I've never done just like half of my lip before. But there's a first for everything. This is a very pretty vampy kind of shade, so I like it a lot. All right, so that is Kylie's Leo. I look so strange. Now we're gonna go in with the CoverGirl liquid lipstick on the other side and see how they compare. The CoverGirl one honestly definitely glides a lot better than the Kylie one does. Her liquid lipstick formula is very dry, which really makes it stay put, but it definitely is drier, so I will say that. And the Kylie one did apply a bit more pigmented. Like it might take a couple times for me to build this color up. But when you build them up, they're very, very similar. So as you can see, the Kylie one is a little bit more like reddish undertone, where the CoverGirl one is a little bit more purpley undertone, but like overall, very, very similar. All right, you guys, so I feel like we honestly did pretty good. Like my face doesn't look completely different side to side. Again, I feel like the biggest difference is just that all over the lid color. If the all over the lid color was the same, I feel like there would literally be like no difference. Like it wouldn't really look any different at all. So I would say that we did pretty dang good. Let me know down below what you guys think, and also be sure again to tell me your favorite dupes. I would love to hear. I hope that you guys enjoyed today's video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Be sure to subscribe to my channel if you have not already, and give this video a thumbs up if you did enjoy. I love you guys so much, and I'll see you very soon in my next video. Bye!